Well, the Brahms Symphony No. 1 is one of my most favorite works. Since I've been a child, I've always been in love, of course, with all the Brahms symphonies, but especially the No. 1. It's kind of the, as they rightly say, Beethoven's 10th symphony. It's kind of the prolongation, the continuation of the 9th symphony of Beethoven. It's so full of joy and of tenderness. I'm so much looking forward doing it here at the Sage Gateshead with one of my most favorite orchestras, the Royal Northern Symphonia, which is quite astonishing that they do such romantic repertoire, even with a small group, and it makes it, in a way, a different piece, a different experience, because it's not a full orchestra size. You don't have 80 or even more musicians on stage. You have the possibility to do even a Brahms symphony like chamber music, to listen to each other, to communicate, and it's just always a great highlight for me to come here to the Sage and yeah, not just to do the Beethovens and the Mozarts and Schuberts and Haydns, sort of the early Viennese classics, but to also come with deeply romantic repertoire. So I'm really excited about the Brahms First Symphony, and equally excited and looking forward to the piece that is the reason that I became a musician, and that is Dvořák's Cello Concerto. Now the story is that when I was 2 years old, my parents came home with the recording, which at that time, and we're talking about 1976, was released with Mstislav Rostropovich, the great legendary cellist and musician, just released, not CD, but LP at the time, him playing with the Berlin Philharmonic and Herbert von Karajan conducting the Dvořák Cello Concerto. And for some reason I was so, I was still not able to speak. I was not talking. I started talking much later, but I was just flabbergasted by the piece and just amazed. So I would sit down and I would have an umbrella in my left hand symbolizing the cello and a stick symbolizing the bow, and I would play along with that LP, with that very Dvořák Cello Concerto. And once the piece was finished, I would point with my finger to the LP player and demand to listen to the piece again. So another 40 minutes, and like this the whole day. So my parents went crazy. They are both musicians. My father is a cellist, and it's my favorite instrument, but they can't listen to this piece anymore. They're traumatized. But anyways, this piece is very, very dear to me, because ever since that, there was never a question for me what I want to become or what I like. My passion has been always with music. We are having a wonderful soloist, one of my most favorite cellists, as a guest soloist that week, Alexander Buzlov. He's from Moscow, but he lives in, I think he right now is based in Berlin, and just an amazing musician and soloist and cellist, and so also a dear friend for many years, and I'm very excited that he's joining us here for the Dvořák Cello Concerto.